Hello, Mario! How to use the grade prediction tool, engineering mathematics. Hello. Well, for some time now, I have found that students have been a little bit concerned about how they're going and how to keep track of their grades and tests and things like that, and how the integration of the whole course with the external and the internal marks happens. So what I have done is I've created a grade prediction tool. It brings a lot of those things together and enables you to first of all determine perhaps where you're at the present point in time, and enables you to sort of work out what you might have to do to get a passing mark in engineering maths. So let's go to the big screen and let's just have a look at things there. So I've loaded it up into the course Moodle site here under Stu Ideals Workshop, and it's called the Grade Prediction Tool. It's actually it's a Excel spreadsheet. So you need to just be aware that it's going to load up as an Excel spreadsheet. So let's just click on it there and it starts to download. It does sometimes, I'll make that full screen, and it takes a little bit of time sometimes to upload a bit. Here it is here. It's opening now, and here it is coming, and here it is here. So first thing you'll notice is the yellow band up the top. So you want to enable editing so that you can adjust it. Now I've protected the sheet. It is Excel. I've protected the sheet. I've turned off the ribbon and things like that. So the only thing you're able to do is to load information into these little blue tabs. The rest of them are, hopefully, if I've done it right, inaccessible. Now I would ask, this is sort of in a preliminary stage. There may be some bugs in it. And it's to predict your final grade based on your performance to date. So it takes what you've done in tests to date and predicts that you'll continue in the same vein or same level, and from that it's able to determine your mark, and then it can work out various different things. So remember that you've got your internal marks. Essentially your internal marks are worth 50% of your final grade, and you must get over 40% of that 50%, which is a total of 20, a minimum of 20 internal marks are needed. Also, you've got external marks, again 50%, and that's in the exam. You must get a minimum of 40% in the exam, or 20 out of 50 to get an external pass. So you must pass both the internal and the external and get over 50% to get a passing grade. So let's have a look at, say, a Bill who's got did his first test, well, maybe has done a couple of tests, because we've done 5 tests now. Maybe got 100, perhaps got a 50, maybe a 0 there. So you can see that he's running at 50% there, and then perhaps a 50 in that quiz there, and you can see that he's averaging 50%, so he's got a 5 there. His My Math started with great gusto and got a 100 there, and maybe done the second one there, and that'll give him the 10 marks. But if he was to perhaps not do the last few here, remember this is predicting based on there. So based on getting 100 and 100 there, we're going to anticipate that he's going to get the full 10 marks. But if, say, for instance, he then sort of buttoned off and didn't do a few tests at all, or started getting dropping down some marks, maybe a 50 and a 50 and a 50, you can see then that his predicted score will go ahead based on that. So I'm just going to go with, so you can clear these out just by clicking on them and pushing the delete button there. Okay, so at the moment, let's just say we've got a, pretty reasonable sort of thing there. Now you'll notice that we still haven't got an internal fail at this, internal pass at this point. So let's just say test 1 got a 80% in that, and there's your internal pass or predicted internal pass, provided you continue on there. So let's just, we've got the internal pass, let's say test 2, 50%. So that's going to drop it down a little bit because your average is there, and then test 3, 45%. And so you can see there you've got a 30.9 out of 50 for the internal. Now let's just say in the national exam you might like to predict what you're going to get. You can see here you've got 80, 50, 45. So around about maybe 60 is a reasonable sort of mark. And you can see there that that's going to give a total mark there of 60.9. That's a pass and a C+. So that's a pretty good sort of result there. Now, if you want to improve your mark and get up to here to 80, that's going to pump you up to a B, 70.9, and 70 here. Now, just be aware that the grade averages, if we drop down here to 50, 55.9 is a C. If we just get down here to 45, you can see 53.4 is a pass, but it's a C minus. So C minus is from 50 up to less than 55, and then a C is 55 onwards. Now you can see here that if you just get a 39 in the external exam, that's an external fail, so it's a fail overall, even though your grade here at 50.4 would have been a C minus. You must get more than 40% in the exam. So that's how that works. Now perhaps you can see there that straight away if you get 40 in that exam, there you go, a C minus, and obviously a 50 will take you up to a C, and a pass. Okay, now looking at the internal, of course, if you drop the ball in the internal here, perhaps you didn't do that exam at all. Now there you can see that you've got below 50, even though you've got over the 20 for the internal and the 25 for the external, you haven't made the 50 overall, which you must do to pass. So obviously, if you maybe do another, no, that's not going to help, because if I do another My Math Globe 3 at 100 there, obviously that's the average is there. So you can see that if you don't do these, that can be detrimental as well. So let's just say we did improve 100 in there. Remember the score, the inputs are all in percentages. So 100 for a 1, all white is a 1, a half is 50. So there you can see now you can bump that up to a C minus, like so. However, and here's your assignment here. Now that you might want to get 80% in your assignment. That's going to pop you up there as well. But if you start putting a few zeros in here because you don't do things, you can see here that pretty soon your grade is going to drop down to a fail there. And even like here, if we get 60 up here, it's going to get us a pass. But let's say, for instance, we start not doing quite so well on the internal, doing the internal marks here. Perhaps this test here is 25. Oops, 250. That's going to, I don't know what that'll do. Yes, you've got to make sure you I haven't got data validation on there. Let's put a 0 in there, and that gives you even if perhaps you've got 70 in here. So even though you've got an internal fail, you did 70 in the exam, you got 51.6 with a C minus, internal fail there, and you know, you've got a problem. That's not a passing mark. So it's all got to be sorted. So there's some benefits here, obviously. This guy here had a bit of an internal fail, but if he'd only just done some more of these My Math Labs here, done a few of these, you know, oops, keep forgetting that he could have passed. And the beauty of the thing is that with the My Math Lab and doing all of this this internal work, it's designed so that by doing that work, one of the benefits of doing that work is, of course, is that your exam mark likely to improve. Now, just a little word too, in predicting your exam mark, usually we find that the exam marks usually sort of drop down a little way below the what people would get for their internal. So generally the external, it's under quite you know, a tense situation. Sometimes we can get a little bit anxious and things like that, and a bit nervous. So don't be you know, just be realistic with your marks there. But certainly my advice would be to maximize your opportunities here in the internal, because there's good marks to be had there by putting the effort in, and the effort put in there will translate over into here into a better mark. So you can use this tool to put your marks in that you've got, you know, the ones that you've got already. They will predict forward. So even though, we're predicting forward based on the average of these marks for these. So what happens if you just stop there and got to the end, these would become zeros, and your mark would you know, would drop down as each one of those becomes a 0. You know, if you're not doing stuff, it can affect your overall mark by dropping these down here. It can have a overall, you know, a detrimental effect, as you can see that your mark is going down there. And it could be that it gets down quite low. You know, if you perhaps, you know, you could be in a situation where perhaps, you know, you actually get an internal fail there. So it doesn't take too much, as you can see. And then even though you've done really well over here, haven't done quite so well. So, yes. I think I'll stop it there. I think everyone gets the idea. Just to, yeah, you can just, you know, clear either don't save the file or just clear them out each time, you know, to get it back to 0. I did contemplate putting a reset button on, but it involved macros, and also I had to get around the sheet protection somehow by doing that. So yeah, I just kept it pretty simple, and like that. If you do want to muck around with the with the spreadsheet, you will have to unprotect it, which would involve going up to here and going into format and unprotecting the sheet so that you can change things around. But I can't guarantee the thing if you muck around with it. And there is a disclaimer here that they're indicated results easily. They could change without notice. One other thing I'll just mention now is that my camera has stopped working, so I don't seem to be able to get back to get my camera operating. So I'll just stay with how we are here with the large screen. But if you do find any little errors or bugs and things in it, let me know and I'll update the file. So cheers, see you.